The meeting at Windsor Castle was intended to be a private affair, a rare summons by King Charles, whose health remains uncertain. Yet what stood out most was the overwhelming silence in the room. The king said nothing. Instead, he gave the floor to Princess Anne. What followed was a stunning revelation, one that would alter the royal family's legacy forever. The shock of the news has left many baffled, especially after a bombshell interview raised fresh concerns. Some insiders now fear that Prince Harry is facing a permanent removal from royal duties. The plan reportedly included sidelining both Harry and Meghan entirely, with their children Archie and Lilibet stripped of all royal recognition and titles, their status effectively frozen. The aftermath wasn't simple disappointment. It marked a complete royal breakdown. Prince Harry appeared visibly shaken, and for the first time it wasn't just a door closing. It was being locked. Meghan was notably upset, as she often is in such moments. Over the weekend, Harry revealed that he had once again been cut off by his father, King Charles, saying the monarch refused to speak to him. This came after Harry's failed legal challenge regarding his security arrangements in the UK. The most chilling part was the silence that began it all. King Charles, known for his diplomatic approach, surprised even his closest relatives by declining to make his own final statement. He didn't sit in his usual position of authority at the head of the table. Instead, he leaned back, hands folded, eyes focused, and passed the responsibility to Princess Anne. The gesture spoke volumes. This wasn't a conversation. It was a declaration of duty. In asking, and to speak on his behalf, Charles sent a powerful message to everyone present. Princess Anne then delivered a sharp critique of the family's recent behavior. What hurt most, some say, is that the most widely shared soundbite was, "I would like to reconcile with my." And yet, for Harry in particular, sentiment no longer offered protection. After years of public criticism, from the opera interview to the Netflix series to the tell-all memoirs, the monarchy had reached its limit. The king had drawn a clear boundary, and it was Princess Anne, the most steadfast royal, who was tasked with enforcing it. This wasn't a gesture of reconciliation, it was a firm eviction from royal privilege. The most devastating moment came when ENRAGED what many now confirmed to be the most controversial part of the king's final decision. Archie and Lilibet would no longer be acknowledged as his or her royal highness now or ever. For Meghan, this marked a major defeat. She had spent the past 3 years quietly advocating for her children to be given royal titles. Meanwhile, Harry, after 40 years, seemed only now to be grasping the concept of consequences. It was Princess Diana, as pointed out by a close friend named Marin Callahan, who once referred to her youngest son as thick. During her infamous 2021 opera interview, Meghan accused the palace of racism and institutional bias. But in this case, it wasn't about race. It was about rules and loyalty. When Harry and Meghan stepped down as working royals, they forfeited the right to extend titles to their children. That's the final word. The expectation that they could openly criticize the monarchy and still retain its privileges was a miscalculation, and now the cost is clear. Privately enjoying the advantages of royal status while stepping away from its responsibilities was at best naive and at worst calculated. If there was ever a chance to gauge the royal family's willingness to offer even the smallest gesture of goodwill toward Prince Harry's son Archie, his recent birthday was it. But the silence from Buckingham Palace was impossible to ignore. May 6th came and went without a single public acknowledgement. Not from King Charles, not from Prince William, and not even from the royal family's official social media accounts. This stark contrast to previous years, when minimal birthday greetings were extended despite ongoing tensions, signaled something more intentional. There was no birthday post, no throwback image, not even a simple emoji. Yet birthday wishes flowed freely for other working royals regardless of their rank. Even Princess Amy's son, August, received a message on his birthday. The message was unmistakable. Archie is no longer regarded as part of the royal circle. He was born into a family that now chooses to ignore his existence. Insiders close to the palace confirmed this wasn't an oversight. Meanwhile, in California, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, has been actively restructuring, most notably by hiring a new chief of staff. The appointment, usually associated with high-level leadership like heads of state, suggests strategic planning. As mentioned by Aiden, it reflects the broader internal consensus that Archie and Wyatt will remain excluded from royal traditions as long as Harry and Meghan stay outside the royal institution and continue to capitalize on their former roles. For Harry, it was another deeply personal blow, especially given that King Charles shares a birthday month with his grandson. But with trust fractured and bonds broken, even the youngest members of the family have become entangled in the ongoing conflict between the Sussexes and the monarchy. This wasn't just a missed birthday greeting. It was a deliberate message. You've chosen your path, and so have we. The royal family has now made it clear if you're not actively serving the monarchy, your children will not benefit from its titles. That's the line. Although it was once publicly framed as a mutual decision to step away, the history behind Harry and Meghan's departure as working royals tells a more complex story. If that wasn't painful enough, the couple received a firm and clear reminder. They are no longer allowed to use their royal titles in any commercial, political, or public-facing setting. This means no more Duke and Duchess of Sussex in Netflix deals on charitable platforms or in art communications. To be fair, this clause was part of the original Sandringham Agreement established in 2020. However, Harry and Meghan have often operated on the fringes of that understanding, branding themselves as global royals while distancing from the responsibilities tied to the role. They've experienced frequent staff changes in recent years. And similarly, King Charles has lost several key aides who had remained through the transition after Queen Elizabeth's passing. Despite these boundaries, Harry still identifies himself in legal filings as Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and Meghan's media and press materials continue to emphasize her Duchess title. They portray themselves as part-time royals when it suits them, yet adopt the role of full-time victims whenever they face criticism. This time, however, the palace is refusing to play along. The new directive is crystal clear. Non-working royals are no longer permitted to use their royal status. It's now considered unauthorized, inauthentic, and entirely unacceptable. What follows is the fallout. The focus now shifts to someone with experience in philanthropy. But there's a catch. The Sussexes need to generate income too, and there's uncertainty about whether Meghan has enough experience in that area to make it work. While this plays out, the couple has been spotted enjoying themselves. Sources within Windsor revealed that Prince Harry appeared deeply unsettled. One palace aide described him as fractured, while another said he was seething, cornered, and unraveling by the minute. It's a startling image, a man who was once second in line to the throne, now sidelined, watching silently as his family distances itself from him entirely. Witnesses say Harry's hands were trembling. His eyes nervously shifted between Princess Anne and Prince William. His jaw stayed clenched as he sat in silence, his decisions finally catching up with him. There was no PR team, no Meghan to support him, no Netflix cameras to soften the blow. Speculation over the weekend suggested this is all a public relations performance, that things behind the scenes are far worse than they seem. But I don't quite see it that way. Maybe I'm wrong, but the tension is palpable, especially from Harry. The emotional strain of the family rift is real. For once, the harsh truth was laid bare by his own relatives, who have simply had enough. Harry didn't lash out or leave in anger. He just sat there, shaken, pale, and perhaps for the first time in years, utterly powerless. And this was just the start. What Princess and revealed next sent shock waves through the monarchy and reignited tensions between Buckingham Palace and California. With Parliament quietly supporting these new measures and Meghan's absence becoming increasingly noticeable, the Sussexes were now facing the harshest reality of all. They are no longer seen as royals. Stay tuned as we uncover the next dramatic turns, including Prince William's stunned reaction and what the king's long-term vision could mean for Archie&Lilibet's future. Just when it seemed things couldn't get more severe, Princess and delivered another blow. The king's order didn't just affect the titles Meghan and Harry currently use. It also banned them from using royal associations in any future initiatives. Whether it's new ventures, charities, or advocacy projects, they are no longer allowed to tie them to the monarchy. No more royal-style appearances. No more indirect references to duty or heritage. No more invoking Diana's memory as moral capital. Harry reportedly expressed that he's simply struggling to understand what's going on with his father. As a couple, though they seem to be holding up from what I've heard, and honestly, that's good to see. Everyone wants them to find happiness, but insiders say this latest move is what truly infuriated Harry. It struck at the heart of their greatest asset, the illusion of royalty that fuels their post-royal ventures from Spotify to Artle to Netflix. With this firm decision, the monarchy has stripped that illusion away, and this isn't just a personal setback. It's a calculated effort to stop the exploitation of the royal brand. From this point onward, any attempt by the Sussexes to suggest royal endorsement will be met with firm legal action. This isn't just a symbolic move. It directly targets their financial model. One of the most revealing developments, however, was Meghan Markle's conspicuous absence from the meeting. While public speculation pointed to illness or scheduling conflicts, palace insiders offered a simpler explanation: Meghan just didn't want to attend. This was far more than a routine family gathering. It marked a major shift in the monarchy's trajectory, and Meghan opted out. Whether her choice stemmed from pride, fear, or indifference, the message was unmistakable. She no longer sees the monarchy as an institution that holds authority over her, but the royal family took notice. Princess Anne in stern demeanor, Prince William Unc's curt responses, and King Charles's icy silence all hinted at deeper tensions. Meghan's absence wasn't just physical. It was symbolic of her complete detachment from the institution. In royal terms, that's not merely offensive. It's tantamount to exile. And if anyone believes this is just a matter of family friction, they are mistaken. Behind closed doors, members of the British Parliament are increasingly aligning with the monarchy's stance. Efforts are underway to remove any lingering confusion over Harry and Meghan's position. Lawmakers from across the political spectrum have reportedly expressed concern over their ambiguous status, especially in light of their political commentary, media ventures, and connections with contentious organizations. Sources within Whitehall have confirmed that discussions are ongoing to establish formal rules for those who step back from royal duties. These plans include banning access to public funds, barring the use of Her Royal Highness titles in any diplomatic, business, or media context, and most notably reclassifying Harry and Meghan's children as private individuals, not royal figures. This is no longer about tradition alone. It's become a matter of national transparency. The tension in the room reportedly peaked when Prince William was left to deliver the final message. After Princess and wrapped up the king's directive, all attention turned to the heir. For William, this wasn't just another duty. It marked the moment he fully stepped into his role as the future monarch. The hope that Harry might one day return has vanished. The idea of reconciliation has faded. Now, William carries the burden of protecting the royal legacy without his brother, without Meghan, and without the once promising unity of the so-called Fab Four. Insiders say William appeared visibly shaken, his expression hardened, fists clenched, and voice barely audible. When he finally said understood, it wasn't just compliance. It was the acceptance of a legacy shaped not by harmony, but by conflict. Meanwhile, as Harry's royal standing disintegrates, Meghan has remained silent, but that silence isn't expected to last. According to sources, she's preparing her next move, one that could dramatically escalate tensions with the royal family. Coming up, we'll examine reports of Meghan's alleged outrage, the possibility of a media counterstrike, and whether the California-based couple is quietly planning a strategic reentry into public life under a new guise. When Prince Harry walked out of Windsor Castle, he didn't just exit a meeting. He stepped away from a monarchy that had decisively and permanently moved on without him. There were no gestures of reconciliation, no compromises offered, and no illusions left to hold onto. King Charles's final message wasn't delivered with warmth. It came as a formal edict. The royal family made its position unmistakably clear. You're out, stay out and don't come back with the cameras. For Harry, the impact was twofold. First, the monarchy's official refusal to recognize his children as part of the royal bloodline. And second, the clear yet unspoken exile from any future significance within the institution he once called home. Even more humiliating, his wife was absent once again, a subtle but bold rejection of the family's authority. To make matters worse, Harry's awkward and strange moment captured on CCTV, knocking on the wrong door at a private London estate, visibly confused and shaken, went viral. The clip, leaked just days after the Windsor confrontation, quickly became the subject of ridicule across media platforms. For the Sussexes, this isn't merely a PR disaster. It's a full-scale loss of control. The royal family has made its stance clear. Parliament is aligning with them. The British public is watching and mocking. As for Meghan, sources say she is seething with anger, plotting her next move from the privacy of Monteto. Yet, one undeniable truth remains.